Good afternoon, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abby. So glad to have you guys back with me. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I propagate fine thyme from grocery store pieces. So how you could go from a simple twig to a plant looking just like this. Okay guys, so this is the apparatus that you need for propagating your fine thyme. So this is a few pieces that I have left from my store-bought fine thyme, and I'm going to show you guys what you need to do or what you need to look out for if you want to, propagate your fine thyme from the grocery store. Now you want to get pieces that have a nice woody stem like this. You don't want to have a piece that is with a sprig like this, fine like this. You want to have a good, nice, sturdy stem. Usually on the fine thyme, because it's quite a runner, on the stem you would see, if I put my hand behind there, you will see little nubs. Those are where the future roots will be. So you see right here, that's a root. And you can see all along the stem, so you see there's little nubs, little future roots that will come out at these points. You can use this one again. There are little nubs along the stem. So or here has a nub, down here has a, oops, I forget, you guys aren't seeing. So along here has some little nubs that will create roots in the future. Now those nubs are necessary for your future roots, because if your stem is smooth and it doesn't have that, it's not going to really catch any roots for you. You really need to have those little nubs on it so that you can have roots coming out at those points. So on this one, I'm only seeing 1, 2, 3 nubs on this one. So I'm hoping that when I put it in the jar that this one does well. It's quite a nice stocky piece. So today is Tuesday, the 2nd of May. I'm going to put it in the water, and I'm going to take you guys along with me to show you how many days it takes before we actually see some roots coming out on these 2 pieces of fine thyme. Good, so we're going to use this jar. This is a jam jar that I use for my plants on the outside. So you just put some water and you put in your pieces like so. This one I'm going to bend a little because you can see this piece is just perfect so that it isn't overwhelmed by the amount of water in the jar. So this reaches all the way up. So I can't really put any more in the jar for this one. So I'm going to bend this one down a little so that it reaches that water. And that's it. Now I like to use glass jars like this as a transparent, so it allows the sunlight to continue to hit the foliage, give the plant some energy so that it can continue the photosynthesis and jumpstart the plant into creating its own root system. So try when you're propagating to use a glass jar so that the plant will have that extra boost from the sun. So I'm going to set this outside. Usually I will set it outside here on the ledge where it will get the sunlight mostly in the evening, which is a more gentle sun, which is between 3 and 5 o'clock. So I'm going to leave this right here, and I will take you guys up in a few days to let you know and to show you how the roots do on these pieces. Okay guys, it's been 7 days since I set this fine thyme in this jar of water, and so far we've been having at least only one of the twigs have sprouted. This one that had the 3 nubs, you're not seeing any improvement in the twig. You can see the leaves are all wilted in comparison to this one. in comparison to this one, where you're seeing little roots. You can see little roots starting to come out. Good afternoon, guys. Today is May the 10th, showing you guys an update on how the THYME is rooting up. So the shorter piece, as you can see, has begun to great. The shorter stem has begun rooting in 2 different areas. It's not focusing as long as I would like it to. So there you go. So the shorter stem has begun rooting up in 2 different areas, as you can see there, but the longer one hasn't begun rooting. But I'm not going to give up on it as yet, because as you can see, the foliage has begun standing up, it's perking up, so it's just a matter of time before it begins sending out roots on its own. A tip that I want to add in here, guys, is be sure to change your water every 2 days. Don't allow the water to get murky. Keep that water nice and fresh so that no bacteria will begin breeding in the water. Okay guys, so as you would have seen in the video, the THYME has gotten some roots, and so now I am going to put it into some soil for it to continue its growth. This is really just to give us a head start, because if you was to start THYME from seed, you will really have to take a long time before you can actually have a mature plant. So when you propagate using the THYME pieces, you actually get a really good head start on your plant. So I'm just going to show you guys how I'm going to pot this up tonight. I tend to transplant these things at night because the shock is much easier. The plant survives, I find, much better when I transplant at night. Hence why you see in the dark, the darkness behind me. Okay, so to transplant this, guys, is pretty simple. I'm going to take the one with the most roots, because one of them has enough roots, the other doesn't. So I'm going to leave that to continue doing its thing in the jar of water. But this one has quite a bit of roots. So I'm going to put this in the soil, well saturated potting mix or compost, and poke a hole like that and transplant the THYME all the way down and compress it in, and that's it. So I'm going to keep this upstairs with me, continue babying this until I know for sure that it is doing well. But basically that's it, guys. Propagating your THYME from grocery cuttings. It's easy peasy. So these pieces I transplanted from grocery pieces, and these been in here for at least 2 months now, and I'm ready to plant them into the container. If you enjoy this content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to all your friends and family. It will help me out heaps. Thanks so much for watching, guys.